Welcome to the Conversations with Two Medical Intuitives. I am Rebecca Roseberry, and we have the lovely Erica Sloan.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, Erica was just saying how it's freezing cold this morning. Freezing cold like in the 50s, right?
Yeah, I woke up and I was like, "Are you kidding?" Like it was 80 degrees, this past week. It's like,
Yeah.
where did this come from?
Yeah. I know yesterday was kind of warm. I know we're in different states, but yeah, it's cooled off a little bit. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
So, anyway, all right, everyone. So, I'm trying to think, what is today? Today is October 26, 2025, and we don't know what we're going to talk about, just the way I like it.
Yep.
Erica and I are still waking up from, yeah, like, thank God we have these avatars. My hair's not dry, all that good stuff. Um,
I'm still in my
so,
days and my hair is up, so I do brush my teeth. I can't do much without brushing my teeth.
So we have a guest coming on. Her name is Mary Von Ohlen, and she's a good friend of mine. I feel like I've known her forever. And I don't know, we'll let her speak about herself, but she's going to come on, and we also don't know what we're going to be talking about.
Beauty of life, right?
Just life stuff.
Yep, go with whatever feels good, touch upon the stuff that's a little uncomfortable and, keep going,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah. So let me think. So before she comes on, I'm going to tune in, and Erica, let's both tune in and see what we're maybe supposed to talk about before she comes on, right?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Well, I do have some kind of news, before
Yeah.
um so it's been, pretty, the reason why, I'm kind of just waking up is like this weekend I literally in my schedule book, I just blocked out home, clean, myself, just me this entire weekend.
Hmm.
2 weekends ago I went and saw Abraham for the first time. And
Oh, tell
that
us
was
about that.
oh, that was so fabulous. That was so fabulous. I mean, I had a little bit of anxiety leading up to it because I wanted to have like the perfect question. And it's like, okay, which question am I going to ask? I have so many questions. And then it's like, okay, I have to find time to sit down and just like formulate this beautiful question. And nothing came. And so it's like,
Okay.
okay, okay. All right. We're not going to talk about it's like, all right, you know what? Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. So as I'm driving to the event, all of a sudden this huge stretch like limo SUV limo pulls up beside me and like just rolls on by. And I'm like, all of a sudden I got this peace, calm filled my body. And it's like, oh my gosh, I wonder if that's them. And I was just like, oh, that's weird, It's like, and then I started getting these hits like, you know what, Erica, everything's fine. Everything's going to happen the way it's supposed to. Any questions you have will get answered. And so it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I pull up to the hotel and there's an SUV sitting right in front. And I'm like, oh, no way.
Yeah.
So it was an absolutely incredible event. All my questions got answered, and some that I didn't know I had got answered. And the
Hmm.
energy was just off the charts phenomenal. It was just wonderful being there and sitting there and just enjoying that frequency.
So not everyone knows what this is. Can you just give a little background?
Oh, you want me to think now? Actually,
No, like
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
you just
It's
said
all
Abraham. Like
Oh
most
yeah,
people
yeah.
don't know what that is.
Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Law of Attraction.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really not good at like formulating something that.
Okay. Yeah. So it's Esther Hicks channels Abraham, and you went to one of her events where she channeled Abraham, and you had a wonderful, enlightening experience.
Mhm. Yeah, if you want me to write it out, I can give you like 10 pages on it. But if you ask me
Yeah,
like point, I'm just like on the spot, my mind just goes blank.
that's
So
okay. Yeah.
that's one of my learning.
So what was? Can you think of one thing that you could share that you got out of it, like the as far as the questions that were answered?
Everything happens for a reason, and you are meant to do only what's really yours to do.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you show up in joy and take the path that brings you the most joy, you'll be exactly where you need to be. That's kind of what I got out of
Beautiful.
it. Hmm.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, another story is a friend of mine who I didn't even know was uh, really, I knew she was deep into Abraham and the teachings and things like that, but she
Yeah.
didn't know I was going. And so I called her up and I told her about one of the sessions or events that had happened. And it was exactly what she needed to hear because she usually goes and sees Abraham like for the every year for the past 10 years. And this year she couldn't go. And so in her mind, she's like wondering how she was going to get a message. And I didn't know that she didn't go or that she goes for 10 years, but I called her up and told her about this one session that happened. She's like, "Oh my God, Erica, you have no idea. This is my message." And so
Oh,
then she told me the story and I was like, wow, so everything happens for a reason. Just kind of go with the flow. And
yeah.
yeah, we all get what we need to get.
Nice. Nice.
Mm.
When I just tuned into my heart, the message I got was surrender or give up expectations.
Yes.
I swear. So, um,
That's exactly it.
I read a book this morning that has like a daily passage for every day, like every day of the year. And
Hmm.
the one from yesterday was about something similar to that, but also saying like even God doesn't know how things are going to turn out. I thought that was interesting. It's like no one's got it all figured out. Like we're figuring it out as we go.
Right. Right.
I don't know. It's
No,
pretty it's
that's
the
so true.
yeah. I don't know. I guess it's the irony of the whole thing, like the way my brain works and most people's brains, it's like we want to know, we want to know.
Yep.
And then, you know, yeah.
Yeah, because we think there's safety in knowing, but there really isn't.
Well, it's frustrating as all hell, right? It's so
Right.
like, and what are we really trying to figure out? We're trying to figure out whether we're going to be safe or not. I think that's the name of the game.
Right. So we try to control our experience.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes. To
Yeah.
know that we're safe and that we're on the right path. Oh, this is where trust comes in. It's like trusting that everything's okay and
Yeah.
mm.
And that there's a divine order to all things and then that we can trust that whatever's unfolding has meaning or purpose or significance. I don't know. Or that none of it matters. It just, what about the other side? None of it matters. No one cares.
True. I'm in the opposite field. I think everything matters,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
not in the
yeah.
way that we perceive it to be. Because, like, when we
Right.
get thrown a curveball, it
Mhm.
doesn't, you're right, it doesn't matter.
It
You know,
really doesn't.
it's like yeah, I think there's a whole like line of or spectrum of like what matters, what doesn't matter. And I think what matters most is that we just walk through this life, not just, but do our best to walk through this life focusing on what brings us joy.
Right. And what brings us joy is what matters to us, right? Or
Right.
I think I don't know if that's not an absolute statement, but um and maybe finding what that joy is and that can be ever changing.
Right.
See, we're just figuring it out. Nobody knows anything.
Yeah.
We're just playing. So I'm going to tune into my guides and just see what else besides surrendering expectations comes up for me. Let me just tune in.
Okay.
What would you like us to talk about today?
Oh, I became a Reiki master last weekend.
Oh, how phenomenal.
So
That's
it's been a big
cool.
couple of weekends.
Very, very nice. That's lovely.
Yeah, I thought so.
So the message I got was to talk about something, and because this could be a learning opportunity for our listeners,
Mhm.
that I had I was interested in a piece of land, and I have big plans of creating some type of sanctuary on about 20 acres of solitude, maybe having some tree houses and, domes and kind of a fun setup like that, and have some animals, that, get rescued from getting becoming dog food, that sort of thing. Like turn it into a fun, happy place.
That's amazing.
But well, thank you. But what I guess to the point of surrender your expectations, we had found a piece of property that had all of these obstacles, but I was still interested in it because I thought, well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And we went through going through the steps, and then it didn't happen. Someone else put an offer in before us, and that's fine too. But just sitting with, okay, why would I have this dream and then not have it be fulfilled, like that whole thing. It's like, well, why is it
Yeah.
even in my field that I want to do this and then not have it manifest, and it's there's so many moving parts, so many variables, and it's so frustrating to try to line up with this idea or just say the heck with this idea, let me just drop it. So anyway,
Yeah.
what do you gather from that?
Well, it's interesting because, like, as you were talking about it, the thing that was in my going on in my head, I forgot what show or movie it was from or something. It's like location, location, location.
Right, right.
So, and that part at the end where you said you should just forget it. I mean, that brought you a lot of joy when you were talking about it. Everything is just aligning. It's wonderful and it's an incredible, thing to create. So I would not drop that at all. Uh,
Okay. But
not
but the
not one bit.
location.
Location and timing.
Yeah. I don't like these two. I found so the location I thought was perfect,
Okay.
except that it was on a preserve. It was a woodpecker preserve. It's on wetlands. It's all these obstacles. There's no road access to it. Like we would have to get the state involved. We'd have to level the road, create a goddamn road to get to the land. I mean, it's so
Mhm.
the whole thing is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
But if
but
there are so many obstacles, how is it perfect?
well, it was 20 acres and it was in a good spot, meaning it's close to the ocean.
Mhm.
And I loved it for that reason because it's close to the ocean. Otherwise, the alternative is to go really far away from the ocean, and I'd prefer not to do that. But I think that's what's going to end up happening.
I was thinking like more mountainous, right?
I
North.
want to be as close to the ocean as possible.
Okay.
So this was like
I
30
was just gonna
minutes.
ask you if the ocean was a deal breaker.
No, no, it's
Okay.
not a deal breaker because I live by the ocean now. I live 15 minutes away, and I could keep my existing home
Mhm.
indefinitely and be inland more. So no, it's not a deal breaker. But I just thought if I could merge those worlds and sell the house and just have the one location, that would be
Mhm.
a win-win.
Okay.
So maybe I do need to anyway, I'm open to whatever, but I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, no, just keep putting it out there. This is what
Yeah.
I want, and maybe somebody is ready to retire, but they're not quite ready yet, and then you'll find
Right.
something, you know what I mean? So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll just keep it, but I'm not going to keep laboring over it. It's exhausting, and it's like, you know what? If it's meant to be, it's going to happen. I don't want to keep all that mental inventory about it.
right. Like you could be
Yeah.
in a supermarket and somebody behind you is saying, "Oh, yeah," or is talking on the phone. It's like, "Yeah, I really need to get rid of this, piece of land," or "My dad's, retiring. I don't know what to do with this home,"
Mhm.
kind of thing. So,
Yeah, I gotcha. So, Yeah, so that's the surrendering or drop expectations message, and that's what my guides just told me to talk about was this piece of property that is
Mhm.
I'm not gonna let it drain me.
Yeah, definitely not, because your dreams aren't supposed to drain you. I mean, yeah, because you know the difference between, what's draining and what's actually hard work and working towards something to achieve a goal. I mean, those
Yeah.
are 2 very different things, because if you keep coming up against wall, against wall, against wall, there are walls that you are meant to break down and move through. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's like your guys are like, I keep putting up this wall, but she keeps knocking it down. I want her to go this way, but not this way.
Right.
So it's kind of,
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Well, that's my story.
oh, it's an incredible story. That's
Thanks.
absolutely incredible. What an amazing community that would be.
Yeah, I think it will be very special if and when.
I think you could take the if out.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good. That excites me.
yeah,
Because I think it would be all encompassing. It would be something that would involve a lot of people's involvement. I can't do it solo, you
yeah.
know. It's got to be a
No,
group effort.
yeah, definitely community effort. I mean, because I know you're going to want gardens. You're
Yeah.
going to want, yeah, you know what you need and want. But I mean, yeah, it's going to take a village to create this village. So,
Yes. Exactly. And then yeah, so anyway, that's my story on that topic. Let me see. Do you have a message that your guides want to come through?
um, yeah, I need to talk about becoming attuned to be a Reiki master.
Tell me more.
So it was about 20 years ago that I took Reiki 1 and 2,
Okay.
and now it's been 20 years, and it's just really interesting and fascinating to me that I feel like I'm closing a loop, a circle, because after I took that Reiki 1 and 2, I think I've been wandering a little bit,
Mhm.
and now all of a sudden, just by becoming attuned, it has made me realize that I've come full circle, and now it's like my life is my own again, if that makes sense.
Okay. So in taking it again, you feel your life is your own.
And that I have the capability to
Mhm.
create whatever I want. And I always knew this in my mind,
Yeah.
but actually energetically, it feels like a completion cycle.
Yes. Okay. So
And
cuz
so,
it's integrated and embodied in you, I guess we could say,
right.
right?
Yep.
So you're
Because
not just talking it, you're being it.
right, because
Yeah.
and Reiki was my first entryway into anything like metaphysical
Mm.
energy work, light work. It was my first like actual like hands-on moving energy, running energy and things like that. And I was just like, wow, this is so cool.
Mhm.
And so here we are 20, well, okay, it's probably more like 25 years, but who's counting?
So it feels full circle, so you feel complete in it, and now what?
Exactly.
Aha.
Exactly. And so things that I and I don't know if it's just the energy of today either, but things that I have put a lot of stock in are just like kind of falling to the wayside, and things that I've been wanting to do for myself but haven't been able to keep disciplined or keep in practice. For what, like taking care of myself, I've actually been able to walk the walk, talk the talk, and just like keep putting one foot in front of the other. It's like this silent strength that
Mhm.
is like leading me through this next chapter, which is very exciting for me. And
Mhm.
so, as you know, I moved, and things are just shifting all around me. My voice is stronger. Um, Work is amazing. I think because I chose to see it in a different way, a different light, and know that I'm like on the precipice of just, you know, taking each step one day at a time that will bring me to where I need to be and want to be.
Nice.
So, yeah, so I think that's all I wanted to say. It's just acknowledging that part of myself.
So you
that.
feel, so just so you know, Mary's ready to come in. I'm gonna let her in.
Mhm.
But so you're feeling complete. It sounds like a nice plateau.
Yes, plateau to kind of just look out and
Yeah,
right before I embark on the next step.
right. Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I just needed to express that or acknowledge that for myself. So, and maybe somebody else
Nice.
was feeling it too. So,
Well, so so Mary just hopped on. Welcome, Mary.
hey, Mary.
Hey gals, good to see you. Well, sort of.
Yeah.
We're like in cartoon land. I figured when in Rome, so.
Absolutely perfect.
When in Rome. Yeah, so Erica was just talking about how, like, what I'm going to use the word plateau. That's the word I'm seeing, which
Hmm.
is nice. It's like a pause. It's like, I've created this much. Now let me just step back and chill and kind of coast a little bit.
Mm,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So Mary, I just very simply, very briefly, was introducing you earlier, saying that you'd be on, but if you want to, I'm gonna give you the floor. You want to, introduce yourself and say a few words?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I wasn't really sure what to expect because I've listened to your I think most of your other episodes as they've come out, and usually if someone coming on as a guest bringing up a health challenge, but today I thought we'd just, whatever
Just,
comes up, right?
yeah, whatever comes up. That's what I
All
figured.
right,
Yep.
yeah. So I've known you two for many years, Rebecca longer than Erica, but Erica, we go back a while now, even though we've been at a physical distance for a long time.
Yeah, it's been what, like 20 years maybe?
Well,
Maybe 15?
15 anyway. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe
Wow.
15 about. Yeah, around 2010, I feel like
Oh
we
yeah.
were hanging out. Um, and yeah, I don't think I mean, you weren't doing medical intuitive work back then, but I knew you were intuitive. And anyway, so yeah, and Rebecca and I go way back. If you've listened to our channel, you already know me. So blah blah blah. I've been in the holistic world doing healing and coaching work for what feels like forever. And yeah, and a strong focus on working with people in the realm of addiction recovery. Oftentimes where people are already on some type of path of recovery, but they're just looking for extra support or, to kind of break through the next level or what have you. So that's just a little quickie there.
Yeah. Yes, yes. We're all at the point where I feel the completion that, like, what you were saying is, what you were alluding to, I think, is similar to Erica, that we're all like meeting a certain place in, I guess, solidarity in our selves, and maybe like what we bring to the table. Does that resonate?
Yes, what we bring to the table.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think we're hitting that time in life. We're in a transitional stage, I'd say, just in terms of age wise, right? And then all three of us, I believe. And then in terms of mirroring the collective that's in the transitional phase, whether they know it or not, right?
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about the collective, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
mass consciousness, my favorite topics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so let me tune on that note. I'm gonna see what we want to talk about. Or actually, no, Mary, you have the topic in mind on mass consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so what
Okay.
what would be your
Well,
message? Or
okay.
no, it's a concern. What concern do you have
Hmm.
about mass consciousness?
Well, I'll say two things. One thing is sometimes, earlier this morning, sometimes I'll get called to pull a card or pull a book off my shelf and I'll hear a page number. And I laughed because this is an old book. It goes back to 2000, Practical Guide to Vibrational Medicine, Energy
Okay.
Healing and Spiritual Transformation, Dr. Richard Gerber. I heard page 83 and I opened up to it and I laughed because that page was earmarked.
Uh-huh.
This is not one I've pulled down in forever. Let me see. And on that page, I'll just tell you the section titles begins The role of consciousness in health and illness.
Beautiful. Do you want to keep reading on that? That would be lovely.
Sure. Let me turn the lights on brighter here. Okay. Which part? Well, just right off the bat, it says there are a variety of techniques people can use to achieve states of consciousness associated with better health, well-being, and creative expression. This is of great importance because our consciousness strongly influences our health in many subtle ways. In the last chapter, we discussed how our chakras are affected by our consciousness and our emotions in ways that may ultimately lead to illness. Dysfunctional emotions and erroneous patterns of perceiving the world can lead to blockages in the flow of subtle energy through our chakras. The resulting areas of, quote, life energy starvation and weaknesses can make our bodies more susceptible to illness from a variety of biological, chemical, and energetic stresses. And it goes on, but it's basically talking about our perceptions of the world and our emotional reactions to events
Yeah.
are influenced by our experiences and the way our brains and I would say our energy systems are organized. So
Yeah.
just a little snippet. So that
Yeah.
was interesting. I was like, oh, okay.
Perfect.
And yeah, let me see if I can articulate what came to me when I sat down here. Collectively, I was thinking about, I was wondering about your observations, you two, working with people as medical intuitives and just observations in our lives in general of all the people that we know and read about and hear about. Just health trends right now, particularly since we'll say 2021, but without flagging our video with controversial, discussions, you can draw your conclusions about what changed around then. But so collectively, the health trends now versus like where it may be headed. So, Rebecca knows sometimes I tend to read a lot of astrology too, and I found it very profound in recent years. Astrological teachers talking about how the cosmic energies, the different planets and other bodies in the universe affect the energies on our planet and Earth and us. And there's a lot of big, big, big shifts going on that, are confirmed by what we're experiencing, different people are experiencing on the planet, but including truths coming to light, old power structures that don't no longer serve us crumbling, and you know, themes, Aquarian themes, with Pluto and Aquarius for the next about 20 years. Healing and consciousness and revolutions in terms of whatever thinking or consciousness, and hopefully not, violent revolutions don't have to be, but just, power to the people type of a shift, sovereignty and transformation, discoveries at sea, all these things. Like we might find more and more natural healing tools, which was kind of the theme of that section of the chapter there. They're talking
Yeah.
about tools for transformation. So I think more will be available to us, and so much already is, but so much is coming to light. Um, and I guess what was coming to me was the contrast between observing so many people really struggling with illnesses now, physical illnesses,
Mm-hmm.
and so many souls leaving the planet, more people leaving the planet than usual, which is confirmed by statistics worldwide, and not many people talking about that. Um, but versus, I think we're going to be or are heading into a time where people will begin to maybe have access to information and tools for how to maybe probably even live longer and heal things that we couldn't before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, just that contrast, right? Where we're seeing some people really like this spike in illnesses and deaths, frankly, and but at the same time, we're having this rise in consciousness, and if consciousness and health are connected, as we know they are,
Mm-hmm.
um, we're seeing both, right? I think we're going to see improved consciousness. We're going to definitely see improvements in health. It's just that it doesn't look like it right now, right? Because we're still
Mm-hmm.
in sort of the reckoning.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. The Reckoning, one of my favorites. Um, okay. I'm
Not at
not,
all.
I'm in complete alignment with that. I agree with that. Erica, does that resonate?
Oh yeah, it definitely resonates.
Yeah.
Definitely resonates. And so, but also I do want to add too what you had mentioned there at the end, when you had first started, just kind of to explain a little bit about vibration and frequency in a person's body. Most disease does start in the auric field, because
Mm-hmm.
the body is its own perfect vibration. Whenever there's something that doesn't really align with that, that's mostly what causes disease. And so
Mm.
that's kind of my um, thinking in that respect. And
Yeah.
so, as you were talking
Say,
about,
say more on that, Erica, because I could hear your throat's getting a little crunchy and keep going, keep going.
Elaborate.
okay, which part would you like elaboration on? Uh,
Well, just say what you said with more depth, because there's more depth there. Like it starts in the auric field.
yep. So we are a perfect being.
Yeah.
We were born a perfect being, albeit frequencies of where we come into this world.
Mm-hmm.
We are a perfect frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And so when there is a frequency that disrupts that auric field, it starts to poke holes in your auric
Yeah.
field or sit in your auric field.
Mm-hmm.
And when people start continuing behaviors that match that frequency, it actually pulls it more into their body.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it's important for us to always ensure that our chakras are balanced because those are the energy centers that push out.
Mm-hmm.
They go in and out. And so, and that creates our balance. But if we start pulling more of that other frequency into who we are, it gets put into different places within our bodies, whether it's our organs, our emotional field, our physical field, and that it starts causing disease and disruption.
God damn, Erica, that's really
Mhm.
good. I'm following along and I'm like, okay, we need to put that in a textbook or something. That was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me just can I want to you said we're born perfectly, but that could be argued as to when that was, the origins of when that was. I mean, it doesn't explain reincarnation. We know that we have all these different frequencies that hit us in the womb. So
Mhm.
where is the beginning or the origins of us in that perfection? Like where does that start?
I believe we're all source energy.
Okay.
And so when we come down, we do want to have a particular or specific ride, as you may want to say, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
call this as our playground in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
or to affect change or to be that person. So in order to affect change, we have to feel a little uncomfortable. So we come into a body that is already matching that frequency. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we're uncomfortable, let me go back. In order to affect change in a human body, it has to be uncomfortable. I'm not saying it has to be, but
Mm-hmm.
let me see. 97%, that's what comes to mind, is that there's a reason for that change. It's because there's a discomfort. And whenever you start feeling that discomfort, is when you need to make that change, or that's when the change happens. Because if you're sitting cool, collected, you want to stay in that energy. So it's not until something starts poking at you or vibrating you, or like it's like a mosquito. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
do you start to affect change? It's like, oh, I
Right.
don't like that. So I'm going to go and vibrate this way just so that mosquito is taken care of. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Yeah, you're making a lot of
Right.
sense. I'm integrating, I'm processing what you're saying. Mary, what are you
Yeah.
gathering?
Yeah, well, and that it ties into what I gather you were discussing right when I came on, talking about having been on a plateau of some sort. So I know for me too, it's like there are periods during life where not coast isn't necessarily the word, but yeah, where where you're not being poked as much, or at least not overtly, you know,
Mhm.
uh, with the discomforts to initiate change, or the opportunity to initiate change, right? Like we can be uncomfortable if we can
Yeah,
get poked and not change,
right, exactly. And
right? I
it,
mean,
definitely. And it also ties into your astrology too, because
Mhm.
I don't understand it. Like I can't tell you like my sun or my moon is in this or this. I don't understand it, but I believe in it like to the nth degree. And that's almost like timing.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
choosing of where we want to come in, because if you remember, like everything is happening now, but in relation to the planets and making a shift, that's kind of where we choose to come in to affect that change.
Wow.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so what's happening now also, you had mentioned about, sciences and things that are causing change in the collective consciousness, that is changing. And whereas we used to get everything, it's like, oh, follow this path. I'll use the example of Abraham: follow this path, the law of attraction, and you'll get to where you want to go. Or, it's follow this path, the human design or the I Ching or something. It's like you had to study to figure out where you needed to go or where you wanted to go to raise your vibration. But what's happening now is that we're all being downloaded all the information that we need. So
Mm-hmm.
we would have to study and follow a path in order to raise our vibration. Yes, it helps, but we also have that wisdom within us now. And more people are waking up to that wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And more people are saying, hey, why do I feel this way? It's like, oh my gosh, I just thought of you and you called me. So it's becoming more mainstream, which is incredible and amazing. And also to your point of people leaving, it's like, okay, I'm tapping out. I'll be back. It's there are people that have come here that have served their purpose or done what they wanted to do. They've reached a point, or they've reached a point like where it's like, all right, you know what? It's better if I check out and then check back in later, because right now I'm at a point where there's just so much, and it's all done on a subconscious level. So
Mm.
people, there's a lot of more good in the world right now than we are being shown or being able to have access to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, because if you go online now, everything you see is end of the world, destruction. This happened, this murder happened, this happened, and it's like all it is it brings forth all the negativity or fear responses in a person's body. And yes, that is happening, but also what is happening is, oh my gosh, that woman over there is making dinner for her neighbor who can't leave the house. Or, there's so much good going on in the world. Or this community is helping feed their homeless so that they're not, you know, on their own. There's just so much good that isn't being focused on, that we tend to lose focus of where we're at and where we're supposed to be, so that we can affect the change and emanate the love into the world.
Mm.
Yep. Exactly.
Mm.
Do you believe that it's by I don't want to say design, but by, well, that it's intentional, that by some, let's just say, I don't want to say entities, but energies, or certain people, or certain beings that prefer the old way and want to inflict that, mirror that fear back, and keep trying to amplify the fear by those messages, and that why people are having a hard time, those that aren't awake and aware to what we are, with what you just talked about, Erica, beautifully. That people are being bombarded by that stuff, intentionally, I guess is what I'm trying to
Oh
say.
no, I absolutely agree with you. Yes, yes,
Mhm,
yes, yes.
mhm,
there, there are entities out there, and that vibration that want to keep things status quo and move it into, or even keep it in that space. But you know what happens when things start to, um, when you start to lose control on things start to amp up a little bit.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it's so important to stay in one's truth and power and light, because anything that happens around that just is. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is. That's what's happening. But as long as you're staying anchored in who you are and the light that you want to emanate, then this is more about the survival of you. Because if you think about it, this is your story. It isn't really anybody else's story. Everyone else outside of you is just a reflection of parts of your story. And so the most important thing is for you to be whole. And if you can look at things as just is, that is, it just is, versus, oh my gosh, that's so amazing, that's so great, oh my gosh, that's so bad, that it just is. And your body and your frequency is it's going to be drawn to what, when you're in, I want to say like a homeostasis, it's going to be drawn into what's yours to take care of and what isn't yours to take care of.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm having a spiritual moment. I don't know about you. So for someone who just woke up, you're killing it, Erica.
Oh, you guys bring out the best in me.
I think we've got some cosmic or angelic whatever support too. I set the intention for this conversation to be whatever's in each of our highest good and the collective good for as many
Yeah,
people as many people as this video can reach,
yeah,
and for it to be fun too. So,
yeah. Thank you.
yeah, it's
Thank you.
happening.
Thank you. So
I'm,
I want to just go back to the like people that have left that they'll come back. What is the certainty that they'll come back? I mean, do we all just come back or do we go to other places or what? Like
that's
you
that's
know,
their soul's choice.
yeah,
Yeah.
So they may get back up there and say, you know what, hey, or be in that consciousness and be like, oh, you know what, I am best served over here.
right.
Because when you fully plug back into that, it's like you may end up, yeah, it's it's all relative to that soul's purpose
And the choice.
and the choice. That's my feeling.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. And I've heard, I mean, it resonates, or it could just be that we're arrogant to think that Earth's the place to be. But I mean that planet Earth is like quite the classroom, that to be in this whatever this realm, this realm of existence, incarnated here, it's just such a profound field for learning, for the soul's growth. So, those that if you're listening to this, congratulations. You chose to come here. It's not always easy. It's the whole spectrum. But obviously, if we chose to come back, it's like because the growth is worth it, and or the experience itself is so unique, just to be able to experience the senses, the sense experience that we have here, I imagine is different than any other, place in the universe that we might, experience.
Hmm. Yes. Oh, and there are some souls that transition, but they don't transition out back up to source. They want to hang out there, just kind of going with, Earth's a place to be. They're not quite ready yet to leave, so they hang around, and there's more and more and more and more of that happening. So it's almost like, oh, this is going to sound funny. Like, I could walk into an establishment and see like one or two souls kind of just lingering around, but now it's like packed. Like after 10 years, or it's just like there are so many souls that are choosing to stay and hang around with their loved ones, than there has ever been before. So
So are you referring to the label of the earthbound spirits?
yes.
Okay. And so that's also a choice because, the kind of earthbound spirits that can wreak havoc on one's health would be like if you're unconsciously attached to an earthbound spirit and they're like in this situation of like a drug addiction
Hmm.
scenario. You know what I mean? Like so earthbound spirits I always associated with they're they didn't fully cross over, and they don't even, I don't know, I feel like I hate to say it, but it's almost like a disease in itself.
Yeah, they don't know they're dead, and they
Yeah,
Well,
so like
is that all of them that you're talking about, Erica, or is that like one category of earthbound spirits that
it's
Rebecca's talking about?
one category because
Hmm.
there
yeah.
are many types of earthbound spirits. There was a woman whose father who had passed, and they were so connected, so super, super, super connected, and he thought that he could still help her by staying connected to her, but
Hmm.
it was draining her energy.
Right.
So we helped them transition a little bit, and she actually felt much lighter and had more energy.
Yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't take away from the connection that you have with this person, and because that connection is always there once you're connected. Well, we're all kind of one in a sea of many, so we're all just one. Just that, yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
another topic. But we're always connected no matter what. But sometimes earthbound spirits think that they're actually helping and doing, because they couldn't do it in the physical life, so
Hmm.
they try to help. But then what happens is they suck the energy. They're surviving off of the person's energy that they're actually trying to help.
Ah, I see.
Right.
That makes sense. Where and they must not know that I imagine one choice is to ascend to an angelic realm where you still can, my understand, or I've heard people talk about that there are also earthbound angels. I don't know if they call them that, but that
Mhm.
the angelic realm that's so present on Earth and that there are so many right now here,
Yes.
supporting the transitions that we're going through.
Yes. And then what was interesting in this particular scenario, she didn't want to let him go.
Right.
That she like talking to him every day, and he is actually the one that ended up assuring her that he just has some work that he needs to go do, and that when he comes back or reconnects with her, it'll be at a higher frequency.
Hmm.
And which we were saying, like, there's an angelic realm where he went, he did his work, he he got clean. I don't know if that like, I'm just seeing like his energy is all, was like kind of dirty and gray, but when he came back, he was all bright and shiny. So,
Hmm.
which he can affect more change and help her more by in that respect versus what he thought he was doing was best previously.
Mhm. Cool.
Yeah.
It's funny that you brought that up, Rebecca, too, or Erica. I forget who brought it up first, but this, the earthbound spirits. It's because the other thing that came to mind was when I was thinking about talking to you guys, I was going to say, do you remember that time? Because it's Halloween, I thought it'd just be fun to bring up. Do you remember that time I had a group of friends over, back around, it would have been somewhere around 2010, give or take, 2010, 2011 uh, or 2009 even. And we were hanging out in my living room in the condo that I lived in at the time. And it was you two and Ailish and a couple other friends. And all of a sudden, the light, we were just hanging out. And all of a sudden, the light, the chandelier, like over the kitchen table, went like, woo. It just dimmed out and on. Like very, obviously, and it's never, and it had never, ever, and never again. And immediately, like, one of you, like Ailish, was like, "Oh, somebody's here," and then Eric was like, "Yep," and you're like, "Yep," and then so this whole thing transpires where if we went backwards from that, I said, "Oh my gosh, you guys!" So I just sometime like the week prior, or about a week prior, I think, I had woken up. So this is a earthbound spirit encounter. Just sharing the story, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Do you guys remember this?
Yeah, vaguely I do,
I,
and yeah, I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, so go on.
Okay.
You're helping me remember it.
Okay.
yeah.
So it backtracking, to what you guys helped there with. So at some point prior, in the recent past from that, I had woken up in the night one night and thought I smelled cigarettes, like distinctly smelled cigarette smoke, and it was probably like the winter, and the window was shut. No one smoked there, and at the time, and I just chalked it up to, oh, somebody was visiting, whatever. And who most of our ancestors smoked, right? Like I mean, at least of a certain generation, they all, there's a lot of smokers. So I was like, it could have been a grandparent, whatever. So didn't even think about it. Then again, I think like that same week, I woke up like, it's kind of in that in between state. I think I started to be aware of a presence in my sleep. And I remember feeling like literally it felt like someone was standing right bedside and leaned over, like bent at the hip, just like looking at me.
Wow.
And it woke me with such a I I woke up my partner. I was like, ah with I kind of yelled and thrust forward like I tried to push this being away.
Hmm.
That's how startled I was. And, so intuitively I knew it was like stranger danger. It wasn't a familiar energy, but I quickly kind of coaxed myself back to sleep, um, telling myself that, oh, I think I was engaged at the time and my ring had a gem from a, grandmother. And I was like, oh, it was probably just my grandfather taking a look at the ring because I felt like a male. And I remembered the smoking a night prior. So anyway, all that to say, I kind of like talked myself out of it. And then when you guys were there and that happened, it was like, oh, it's someone, one of you said, oh, it's someone who used to live here, I think. And
Hmm.
and I was like, oh yeah, I remember like when the condo was bought, and got cleaned up, the prior owners, I even remember meeting them, I think, once. And it was an older couple, and the guy was definitely a smoker. And I knew in recent time, because every once in a while I'd still get mail from them, that I saw something that changed to like the estate of, whatever, I don't know, Charles or George so and so. And so I knew he had passed in like the past year. And you guys confirmed because there was all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, he doesn't want to leave. And oh, he's hanging around. And because his wife, oh, I think she might be seeing someone else. Or, he was hanging around and I was like, well, she doesn't live here anymore. So like, you guys were like, go hang out somewhere else, dude. Oh, I like to be by the water. Well, you can go hang out in the hallway, but get on. He like wanted to give me advice. And I was like, no, thanks. So have you ever set a boundary with a ghost? I did. Anyway, so I've never forgotten that story. I didn't know if you guys would have remembered it because it was obviously more impactful for me. But we told him to go to the light, or at least, kind of like you
Yeah.
don't have to stay here, but you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yep,
And he
exactly.
never came back again, thankfully.
Yeah, I remember the chandelier and I remember, yeah, but not all the details. That's great.
It's just a real life example of what you guys are talking about. Just to
Yep.
bring it a little bit more down to earth, the conversation for those who are like, what are you guys talking about?
So, so Erica, I'm wondering, these souls that are earthbound that they don't even know that they're dead, but are there those that are choosing to hang around and they're doing it consciously and they're not being wreaking havoc on other people?
Uh, they have to find energy somewhere to survive.
Oh, okay. So it's that parrot. Okay, say no
Yep.
more.
Yep.
So
So
it is.
it's always
Yeah,
good to, when you encounter
yeah.
a spirit, it's always good to help them. Well, it's not your responsibility to do so, but like for instance, for me, like if I bump up against somebody, it's like, okay, you're gonna have to leave because if you don't, then I'm gonna, you know, do whatever I do. But I'm gonna help you transition.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. It's not our responsibility. That you know how I
Yeah.
love that word.
Mhm.
That's interesting. All right, so let me
Well,
just
yeah, because it's not you're not responsible. Like if you live in an apartment complex, you're not responsible to go clean out every single apartment. I
well,
think that's the responsibility that I'm thinking of. The ones
so
that are in your space that are poking against your frequency and vibration, those are the ones that you want to,
Yeah.
yeah,
okay.
Chase out of your bedroom?
yeah, exactly. Or your apartment on entirely. If you want to protect me, you got to do it from outside the door.
Right, right, right. Oh my God, you're just making me think of all these other things now, and I'm like, how much time do we have? Oh my God, all these different stories that I want to dive into now. Let me think which
Yeah.
one would be more. All right, so I'm just gonna.
But also it's important with responsibility too. It's important for you to be in your homeostasis, because when you're in your homeostasis, you're going to know which ones, what to do and what's not to do, like what's yours
Right,
and what's not yours.
right, right,
So
right.
because like if
That's
you have
really
a friend that has like this entity on them, I mean, you can go clear that entity, but then it takes away their choice to deal with their issue. Does that
yeah.
make sense? You could acknowledge, point it out, but yeah. So it's important to stay in your homeostasis so that you know what's yours and what's not yours.
That's really good. It's a really
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
way
and
to
also like the example I just thought of, or maybe another kind of, easier digestible example for some people would be like
Mhm.
if it literally someone has a parasitic, infection, right? Like they
Mhm.
got parasites and you could, let's say you guys could prescribe a certain, recommend a certain like detox and certain supplementation and that to physically force it out. But what about looking at why that person manifested it to begin with? So it's their
Right.
responsibility to, if it was, an emotional, spiritual piece, physically, what they're eating, whatever, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes, and they have to want to change
Right.
because
Yeah.
you'll know that people will just go back to their old habits because it's comfortable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
important to do, like you said, on every level, physical, emotional, mental, all those different levels.
Yeah.
It's important to do your work because you can help somebody get rid of parasites, but if they are still vibrating in what attracted them,
Right.
it's
Right.
not going. It'll help temporarily, but then yeah. No, thank you for bringing it down. I realized I was.
No, this is good. This
This
is
is very
good.
good.
Because I think what I was gonna say, I'll say it anyway, just because for the
Please.
listeners. Yeah, because so I went on a ghost tour last week, and here's my 2 cents on it. So I went on a ghost tour, and this woman was showing us all these, from like hundreds of years ago, telling these deep stories about these spirits that are still haunting the community today, to this point in time, and that they're still here and they're still, and anyway, the point is, my thought was, why isn't anyone helping them cross over? This is the whole time I'm like, these spirits are being exploited. They're, first of all, they're staying and they're making this company a lot of money doing all these tours.
Yep.
So I just wanted to see what your take is on that, because I'm just like, when is this person going to go to the light? When is this spirit going to go to the light? And like, where is my or the community's responsibility in that? All right, so that's my 2 cents.
It's like they need an intervention. Okay. You're all
Yep.
you're all, getting, reaping some benefit from this, but it's not healthy.
Yeah,
They're enabling
exactly.
it, yeah, that's what it sounds like.
It's
So
enabling, right? Am I crazy? Like, I'm like, what is the optimal scenario here? What, like, because of that, it felt like we're exploiting this person's suffering. But
right.
like
But
to
but
Eric,
also
yeah,
the donut maker is also exploiting somebody else's suffering.
the donut maker.
Yep. If you think about it, they're providing a service that is not healthy to the person at all, yet that
Oh,
person
okay.
keeps coming back to eat the donuts.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's cool. So what comes to mind for me with that is, so with the donuts, it's like, well, maybe they need to like, it's like I just saw like the little kid whose parent says, "Oh, you're gonna smoke here," and they make them smoke like a whole pack of cigarettes so they get so
Yeah.
sick they never want it again. Like the donut maker might be helping people like, yeah, just get sick enough to feel sick enough to make a change, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and then
I
the other thing I thought I wanted to chime in, if you don't mind, about with the ghost thing is I do remember a friend explaining like part of his sort of spiritual awakening, if you will, ha began with ghost stuff. Like he was working on TV show with like, producing like ghost hunter type of stuff. And that just kind of opened him up at least to the fact that there's more than just us here, you know?
Mhm.
And so even though, in the example Rebecca just gave, it feels like this kind of system of, greed and exploitation of that realm. It's you don't know how many people might be doing that, and they kind of were, skeptics or scoffing at it and didn't believe that even like any type of, ghost or other spirit could even exist. At least it's opening them up to that. Maybe there's some hidden benefit, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that too. And Becky, what you were saying too is just, were you asking like where's the responsibility in helping these ghosts
Yeah, and
transition?
yeah, because you were talking earlier about homeostasis
Mhm.
and, and responsibility, and I'm just wondering, like, whose responsibility is it, or is it anyone's? That's all. Just like
Well, if
what?
they're still there, then
Yeah.
it's like if it were somebody's responsibility, they will have the drive and determination to be going around the country expelling ghosts. In the scenario that you provided, it's a mutually benefit
Right,
event
it's
that's
mutual.
occurring. The ghosts get fed and acknowledged, and then the humans get what they need by providing the stage.
Okay, all right. So I love it. It's mutual.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
And
their
it,
ego, like especially this one ghost who was known to like bite the ears off of people and put them in a jar.
oh,
And then she was murdered, and like she still haunts the people in the building and all this stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? But so now that makes sense. Like her ego probably loves all the attention.
oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. All
For
right, all
sure.
right, all right.
For
All right,
sure.
I like it. I like it. It's mutual.
Hmm.
I feel better now.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that we circled around to ghost stories, a ghost
Yeah.
topic for Halloween. I thought it might be good clickbait for
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
really good, Mary. Really good.
and I'm laughing. I keep if you don't I don't know if you can see, I keep muting myself because suddenly I'm being haunted by like a chainsaw. And someone's like
Oh my
which is
goodness.
also a little bit Halloweenish.
Oh, it
Very.
totally is.
So, I'm trying to think like to wrap it up. How do we want to close? This was amazing.
Yeah,
Yep.
invite people in the comments to share their ghost stories or questions about earthbound spirits or,
Yep.
Yeah.
obviously consciousness and health. But yeah, thanks
Stay
for having me
tuned.
on, you guys.
Oh no, this is a blast. Very awesome to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mary, for joining our party today.
Yes.
Thanks for the invite. I'm going to an actual Halloween party later, so this was a good little preview, I guess.
Oh, and speaking of which, I'm going to a party this afternoon too. It's called a whimsical tea party. It's like an Alice in Wonderland themed thingy. That's why I had to do this a little earlier, but I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
Party,
Cool.
party.
That's a funny synchronicity. Just last night, because I was thinking, I don't really have a costume for this thing. And I was like, I wonder what happened to that. I remember going to an Alice in Wonderland theme Halloween party years back, and I had
Oh,
what's he called? The Cheshire Cat uh
Oh,
costume. I don't know what happened to it. You could use it today.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
I'm going
fun.
to a tea dance, it's called, that's Halloween themed. That's what they call it. Yeah, so it's funny that you just mentioned a tea party, tea dance. So,
Yeah,
so you are all connected.
that's
it is.
adorable.
And for me personally, anything to do with Halloween, it's peace out. Those spirits are a little too close.
So, Erica, I want to thank you for bringing that up. I want to end with that. I'm so mixed about Halloween, so mixed because it on the similar vein that I just explained, the exploitation of suffering. I'm very conflicted about it. It's like, what are we doing? What are we really celebrating here?
I prefer, and we're going next weekend for the first time to a friends throw a Day of the Dead party where they actually have like, it's really, it sounds like a respectful remembrance celebration type of, party and ritual,
Nice.
obviously like the Latino culture, celebrates that. And I
Yeah.
think it's just the idea that this time of year, I think in Celtic culture as well, it's like there's a thinning of the veil,
Yeah.
is the belief, right? And so,
Right.
yeah, I agree. Although like, yeah, what do candy corns have to do with that, right? And scary crap on your lawn. They get scarier and scarier. Some of the lawn decorations around here, I'm like, whoa, if I'm scared, how are these little kids feeling,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, so it's about, as usual, it's about bringing it back into balance, I guess, right?
Erica's quiet. I want to hear from Erica. What?
I wish there was more Day of the Dead type events going on because those are all about love and honor. When you
Okay.
have, let's go scare as many people as you can, it attracts a different type of spirit. So
Right.
that seems to be more prevalent. So for me personally, I mean, it's like, no, I'll stay in. Thank you for the invite. Love you.
Yeah. Erica,
yeah.
when I look at your aura right now when you're talking about this, you just want to put a pillow over your head and wait till it's over.
Well, and it's like what just came to mind too is it's like we talked about the different categories of earthbound spirits. So it's like I'm
Yeah.
remembering back to mischief night as a kid.
Right.
And and Halloween being about, eggs and toilet paper and, pranks. And that's
Yep.
probably more of, and feeding that and the scary stuff versus Day of the Dead, more love and honoring ancestors and deceased.
Right.
A different type of spirit. So it's very, very interesting. This is a good discussion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So thank you both so much. I've had a blast.
Me too.
Me
And
too. It's fun for another hour.
yeah, I know. right?
Easily.
I'm gonna go transform to this tea party, and yeah, I'll get this out to the public this week. And thank you both so much.
Awesome. Thank you. This has been
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you, Mary. Maybe we'll do this again sometime.
We definitely
I would love to. Always an honor.
have to.
Thank you. both.
Awesome. All right, enjoy your day.
Bye. You too.
Bye.
You want to schedule something later? I know you're running into timing.
Yeah, let's see. You want to stop the recording?